can see you. My name's Ed Judge. Welcome to my video blog. This is episode 1. This one's on wahoo. I've been lucky enough to shoot wahoo in about 5 different oceans around the world. Noticed a few things in common between them wherever you go. And this is basically my tips on how to slow down some of these speedsters. Cheers.
Wahoo, Ono, or as I like to call them, racing striped sea mullet, are a pelagic fish, often being found in open ocean, but also around reefs and pinnacles and offshore areas. I've found them in temperatures ranging between 22 and 30 degrees Celsius, and the ideal temperature that I've seen them in is around about 26 degrees, so 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Wahoo have an incredible growth rate, on average growing between 2 millimeters a day and up to 3.7 millimeters a day, make it one of the fastest growing fish in the world. Females in the Coral Sea spawn every 2 to 3 days during summer, producing 500,000 to 6 million eggs. It is here where the Australian record was taken by one of my good mates, Ash Bowler, at 50.1 kilos, while the world record was set in French Polynesia by another one of my mates, John Pengelly, at 62.6 kilos. Solid fish, mate.
Okay, now we're going to have a look at what type of guns I would use for chasing wahoo. I'm lucky enough to live about 1 block away from the Aim Right workshop, so I'm down at the Aim Right workshop and I'm going to show you what my selection for guns if I was chasing wahoo would be. This gun here is probably the setup that I've probably shot most of my wahoo with. It's a 1.3, 1.4 Euro style pipe gun, 2 rubbers, single flopper, 7.5mm shaft. Does the trick. Wahoo are not a hard fish to get spears through. If you're going to run a flopper, make sure you get really good holding shots. Aim for the vitals and be very sure of your shots. Moving on up a fair bit. This gun here would not be particularly overpowered. It's an absolute cannon, will put a shaft through about anything. But wahoo do grow to over 50 kilos and normally found in very clear water. So maybe just that range that this gun could fire a big 9.5mm shaft would be the difference between landing the fish and not landing the fish. And running a slip tip, I definitely reckon if you're not 100% sure of your shots, slip tips are the way to go. So this gun here is actually responsible for the wahoo world record. It's a 1.4 King Venom. You set this up with 2 or 3 rubbers, firing an 8mm shaft and a slip tip. You pretty much couldn't get a better setup, in my opinion, for chasing wahoo. It has the range, it has the power, the accuracy. At the same time, you can dive with it. It's a Euro-style gun. It's comfortable to dive with, but will fire a fairly large shaft. So if it was left up to me, that's probably what I'd run myself.
Wahoo are an incredibly fast fish, with estimated speeds up to nearly 90 kilometers an hour, make them extremely challenging on a reel gun. You can expect to see 20 meters of line disappear every second, so a full spool of 60 meters is only going to get you about 3 or 4 seconds of fun until you wave your gun or your fish goodbye. But the good news is, if you survive the first run, you're in with a really good chance. Wahoo's second run is about as exciting as the vegan option at KFC.
Okay, now we're going to look at the floats and rig ropes that I'll be using for chasing wahoo. You can't go wrong with 3 atmosphere float. This one can go down to about 20 meters without losing any pressure at all, or some stopping power. If you're going to run a big float, you're going to want a bungee. Bungees are there just to take the shock off the fish. So when the fish comes up running 50 k's an hour against a float like this, there's a good chance it's going to rip the spear straight out of it. Put the bungee on, that's going to stop it. Then what I've got here is a high quality rig rope. You want something tough, get big sharp clips, nice and strong, because wahoo can apply a lot of pressure to your gear. Alright, we'll take those ones, get that out of the way, see if that one works.
Once you've found yourself a likely spot, there's 2 tactics I would employ. First one is a burley trail. They can be fussy eaters, so make sure you get some very fresh, oily fish. That should do the trick. The next is teasers. Anything that flashes in the water can trick a wahoo. I've seen the Hawaiians use a soup spoon sinking to completely fool big Ono into staying stationary, getting a good shot in them. But one thing for sure is while they're looking at your burley or teasers, they're not looking at you. Hint, hint. Okay, you look across the dance floor and you see a wahoo coming your way. It's important not to make eye contact with them or chase them actively. Some people have a little bit of luck with this, but I've always found it better to sit mid-water, in amongst the burley or the teasers, let them come to you. If all else fails, deploy spirit fingers. It actually works. Shot placement. I stress shot placement with these fish more than anything because of the speeds they reach. If a bad shot, you are definitely going to rip out. My favourite shot is pretty much broadside or quartering away and having the spear come out their gills. An awesome part about hunting wahoo is they're not a particularly deep fish. You normally find them at or near the surface. So you don't have to be a particularly deep diver to get them, but a little bit of hang time mid-water goes a long way. Gets you some time for them to come over and have a look at what you are, and also for you to place a really good shot. I always take accuracy over power when I'm hunting most fish, to be honest, but in wahoo definitely. A powerful gun quite often sees the spear go straight through and the fish ended up on your mono. Now if sharks are around, we all kind of know what happens next. For accuracy to really count, you actually have to know where to shoot. I highly recommend getting a fish and studying its anatomy, checking out where its vital organs are and its backbone. Remember, this is spearfishing. We're not there to hurt their feelings. And at the same time, we don't want to injure any fish that we aren't going to land. Fresh wahoo is an excellent eating fish. Make sure it's bled well and put on ice straight away. My go-to recipe for wahoo would have to be crumbed, either in panko or breadcrumbs, and then shallow fried, and then done in a fish taco.
Hey guys, well thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first vlog. There's going to be many more like this. Swipe right if you liked it. I don't know, that's Tinder. Swipe up, I don't know, just follow me or subscribe or something. Cheers guys.